up nicely. It's the Drew and Fuse show. The Drew and Fuse show. The Drew and Fuse show. Yeah, they clean up nicely. Yeah.
We're back.
DAFS Punks, we're back in black.
Yeah, we do both have black on. Isn't that shocking? I don't think it's that shocking, actually.
I don't even think I have regular colored clothes. It's only black clothes.
Regular colors. Yeah, everything's black for me, too. Black, or I've got a couple red shirts, but it's mostly black.
Many moons ago when I moved out, this was, in the Great Depression, I realized that doing 2 different loads of laundry was low on the tight level. So I was like, I'm going to just get to one color and just rock that. And that way, it'll be a lot easier to do laundry.
It makes sense to me. You just gotta, gotta get somebody that does your laundry. I got Ashley. I'm just kidding. She doesn't do my laundry. I actually do my own laundry. It is convenient here because the laundry room, whatever you want to call it, is right outside the bedroom. So you just kind of throw everything in.
Heyo. Yeah, doing your own laundry is key. I with my ex, always would fuck it up. It was always shrunk and always fucked up, or shirts would go missing. No longer.
Do you have
can't put up with that?
Do you have a specific detergent you like, or do you just buy whatever one's cheap?
It's just the Tide Pods, because I was huffing them for so long. I just had extras laying around.
This segment is now sponsored by Tide and the Clean Up Nicely section of the podcast. So now you guys know.
Yeah, I think I got them, just the overly giant size from Amazon, or no, I'm sorry, Costco. And so since I live by myself, it takes me forever and a day to go through them.
Gotcha. Yeah, Ashley just buys whatever too. So we're not loyal to a detergent brand. Not that anybody here actually cares, but how you guys doing? We're back. We're here to talk about laundry.
We're airing out all the dirty laundry from the last couple weeks. We have missed some, but lots has been going on. Fuse has been out of town. Seattle, LA. I've been in Alabama, Florida, and we had a big Thanksgiving break, which, you guys should, or happy Indigenous Day, right?
Yeah.
Stay true to all of that stuff. Let's just, let's start. I don't know. You go.
All right. Well, before we get started, we're going to talk a little bit. We are going to be out at Midwest DJs Live. We've mentioned it before. Drew and I are going to be there. We got some cool stuff in the works for that. So if you guys haven't signed up to be out at Midwest DJs Live, you should check that out. Is there anything you want to add to that?
No, Midwest DJs Live. Make sure you booked it. The dates are in April. So go to their website, because we'll just keep that a secret. That'll force you to go to their website. So go to their website and sign up for that. And then we'll also be out in Vegas for Mex, as well as NAM. So lots of things coming up here. Pick one of them. Go network. Go do the rubbing of the elbows with all the people, and come out and see us.
Yeah, Mex, we're going to be doing our DMS party again. More details about that coming soon. Vegas is usually super cheap to get to. So if you're looking to not break the bank and come to something, the Vegas is a good option. It's not what you spend to get to Vegas. It's what you spend when you're in Vegas. So as long as you're responsible and don't blow it all at the blackjack table and, $25 vodka sodas at XS nightclub, you'll be fine.
Luckily that hotel that the conference is held at, the drinks are super cheap.
They are the South Point.
Yeah, South Point. So you could come through and buy us some rounds. We'll accept them.
So let's kind of backtrack a couple weeks. We've missed a couple weeks, like Drew mentioned. We've both been on the go. Sometimes when we're in the different time zones, as you guys know, it's a little hard for us to coordinate stuff, and we just can't get stuff out quick enough. So moving back a couple weeks, I went to Seattle to visit Phrase. If you guys haven't seen it, I posted a vlog on our YouTube channel. It covers kind of the whole trip. I flew out on a Thursday. I got stuck on the runway for about 3 hours before we even took off from Cincinnati. I watched an entire movie plus a half movie before we took off. When it was,
The other nice little travel hack that you keep posting on that is
oh
that
man,
wireless Bluetooth thing.
yeah,
I
it's
ended
called
up
the Air.
buying one of those. I have
Yeah,
one, but I haven't
yeah.
tested it yet.
It's called the Airfly Pro. So if you guys don't have it, if you just search on Amazon, the Airfly Pro, it's one of my favorite little travel hacks. Drew's got it right there. You can see it. It plugs into the TV camera on the airplane, and then it has a little cable that comes out USB that plugs into the USB side of the port on the airplane too, so it stays charged the entire time. And then your AirPods sync to it, so you're wire free when you're watching movies or live TV on the airplane, which is a pretty nice little hack. And for me, I can't sleep without sound. And I don't like a lot of times even getting on my phone or anything on the plane. I just like putting my phone away and kind of detaching from that. So it's kind of nice to have the sound and be able to kind of watch TV and fall asleep wire free. So it's a nice little hack.
Yeah, because those free headphones they pass out are just horse shit. They're so
Yeah.
bad. They're uncomfortable and they barely work most of the time.
Right. Right. And I have the AirPods Pro 2s, and I know you do too. And these Bluetooth on these are awesome. Or not the Bluetooth, the noise canceling on these are awesome.
Yeah.
And not only that, the battery lasts a little longer than the first AirPod Pros. So I can actually make it from Cincy to West Coast on like one charge of the earbuds, so they won't die unless I sit on the runway for 3 hours, and then I can't. But that was crazy experience. I was flying Delta. That's the first time I've been delayed flying Delta, I think, ever. It started to snow here in Cincy. That we pushed back. We got in line to de-ice the plane. We had 2 international flights in front of us, massive planes. And finally, it was our turn to get it de-iced. When we pulled up, they were like, "Oh, by the way, the de-icing trucks ran out of fluid. Now they got to go refuel or refill and come back and then de-ice the plane." Then they finally do that. They come back, they de-ice the plane, and then the captain comes on and he's like, "Oh, by the way, we've been sitting on idle so long that we've ran out of gas to get to Seattle. So we got to pull back to the gate to refill the plane full of fuel, and then we'll push back again to take off." So, like I said, that took about 3 hours. And then, you add about another, it was like 4 hours and 45 minutes to Seattle. So I was almost on that plane for 8 hours for a direct flight to Seattle.
Kind of hack job they run it over there in the Cincinnati.
I know that Delta Cincy flight was, and to add to Brian B's point, always take the first flight out. I usually do that. I didn't on this trip I've been so busy at home. I was trying to maximize my time here at home, and not taking the first flight out. Definitely. I mean, that's what happened. If I would have taken the first flight out that day, I would have been fine. But
Yeah.
that's a prime example of why to take the first flight out.
Yep.
But once I got out there, Phrase's boy Tails picked me up. We headed to Phrase's gig at Steel Creek in Tacoma, which Tacoma's south of Seattle, which is where Phrase lives. It's a line dance country bar gig he does. So it was pretty fun to finally get to see him play and do all that. People were boot scooting and boogieing it up, and it was a fun little time. Friday, I played at Phrase's Friday night residency with him. He always books a DJ there as well. So he plays, and then the DJ he books plays as well. That was called Forum. You can see it on the footage. It was a fun little gig. I was also out in Seattle during the weekend of that like crazy storm they had, so it knocked out a lot of the power and around the city, and people were without for like 3 or 4 days. So the Friday was a little slower, but all in all, it was a fun gig, and it was a wild venue because it's like a club in the middle of like a putt like thing, Top Golf like simulator. So they have like actual golf simulators, and then like behind the club, it's like kind of open air too. Is like putt course, and then around the corner there's like another like bar sit down restaurant that's like not in the club. So, and then all of that sits on top of the Lucky Strike in Bellevue. So pretty wild, massive venue that he
Like
plays
a
on Friday.
giant game zone. That's just a bunch of games everywhere.
Right, but with like a nightclub built into it that does like bottle service and has its own bar, and wild. I haven't
It's
ever played at anything like that.
it's not all ages though, right? It is 21.
It is 21, except for like putt area, which is like kind of like behind the DJ booth. And like it's like its own venue, but it's not, because it's kind of open air. That is all ages until 9 p.m. So
Oh,
yeah,
all right.
kind of interesting. But it was cool. Saturday we played a brunch spot called Muse. Him and I both played. It was really fun. Saturday night I played at Seattle's newest nightclub called Vice, with a couple other DJs. It was a good night. I got to sneak out of there early because they had like double booked headliner DJs, and I got to head over to Trinity where Phrase opened for another local Seattle DJ, and I got to see that spot, which is a really, really cool spot. And then I flew out Sunday morning, so it was kind of a whirlwind of a little trip because I had 3 gigs in the 3 days that I was there, and I got there super late Thursday night, so I didn't really have a whole lot of time to explore or see much of the city. But overall, it was a good time. And when I was out there, weren't you were in Florida then? Or
I
was it
was in. I wasn't there until I was in Alabama in Thanksgiving week.
Okay. So yeah, I flew back home Sunday, and then drove my mom to Virginia Monday morning for my brother's house for Thanksgiving, and we stayed up there. We stayed up there until Friday, and we drove back Friday, and I DJ'd in Cincy Friday and Saturday, and was home. And then that following Wednesday, I flew out to Drew. But before we get to talking about that, Drew, tell us a little bit about your weekend.
Yeah, Thanksgiving week is that Wednesday, at least here in California, is one of the biggest nights of the year. And I played a bungalow and it was slammed. It was a lot of fun. It's your typical holiday where kind of the rookies come out a little bit, right? It's not because there's family involved and so many different ones, but
Right.
back night, it was a lot of fun. Spent some time with my family the next day. Then first flight out to Florida. No issues. Got there super early. I had to go to Florida first because all the gear was there, and then drove into Alabama, which is 2 hours. It's a lot of traveling. A lot of just going about. Sometimes I don't get that super personal assistant that does all the setup. Sometimes I gotta do it myself. But
Right.
it was an awesome gig. This couple found me from another wedding that I did in Florida, and so they're just like, we have to have you. And I'm seeing this more and more. The couples are skipping like a formal dinner. They kind of just came in, ran through their first dances and everything. They opened up food where everyone could just mingle and sit wherever, and then the rest of it was just straight partying. And I'm just seeing that more and more and more and more, like the really awkward throwing of the girls' underwear, the garter toss, and all that's just like going out the window. So it'll be interesting to see moving forward what weddings will look like. I'm here for it. I love them. Being with different.
I'm all for a casual wedding. I think some of those formalities can be skipped completely, like the garter toss, flower toss, that kind of stuff. I definitely still enjoy as far as being a guest at a wedding goes, a more like sit down dinner. I just think it's a nice like touch to the night, but I definitely enjoy the you know, the more casual wedding without so many formalities, because it's like none of the guests care anyway. Like they're like, I don't care to see you throwing the garter or the flowers or
Well,
any of that.
like I said, this was in Alabama, so they do things differently, anyways. But I feel that this was a way to get more people in the room because they had a main party room where tables would have been seated, but they
Right.
just, since they were skipping all of that, they could just leave a full-on party room that everyone could fit in. So,
Right.
just I think a lot of it had to do with just the size of the room and the venue itself, but. It's a rager. I mean, they raged. It was an awesome wedding. Danced the whole night. Ton of open format. Just all over the place. It was fun. Then drove home. First flight out. Got home. DJ'd Bungalow again Sunday day. And those weekends can tax me a little bit, but just trying to maximize all of my responsibilities. And still make all the
Yeah.
traveling work. So hit all of that.
Yeah,
And
right.
yeah,
And you were only home for, a day or two before I flew out on Wednesday. So
yeah.
while I was in Virginia, I got a message on Instagram, and at first I kind of was like, is this even real? It was somebody hitting me up asking me if I would be interested to DJ the Kings game. And I couldn't because it was that coming Saturday. I was in Virginia. The logistics of getting out there didn't really work for me. But then they asked me if I could do the next Saturday, and I was like, sure. And I posted a vlog already about it and kind of explained some of this, but I'll talk a little more in depth. So the day before Thanksgiving is when she reached back out about the following Saturday. And then I didn't hear anything because of Thanksgiving being the next day. And then on Friday, she told me everything was contingent on the Galaxy winning because the Kings DJ, Vic One, is also the DJ for the Galaxy. And if Galaxy won their playoff game that Saturday, that they would need a DJ again for the following Saturday for the actual championship game because Vic would have to play that as well. So they confirmed with me on Sunday. Monday, I had to buy a flight, which because it was super last minute, the flight was super pricey. But I also got on a call with them, and we talked through some of the details, and they told me how they found me, which is still to me one of the coolest things about this all. They found me on Fit Radio, one of the higher ups in production and the organization with the Kings. Listens to me on Fit Radio, and they told me that they really loved all my stuff on there, and that they looked me up on Instagram, and they really liked all my videos and stuff on Instagram. And then they saw that I do the stuff for the Reds, and they were like, perfect. This guy has experience doing stuff within the sports world. We want to give him a shot, and we want to try this out because they just wanted to do something a little different. And so next thing I knew, I was flying to LA Wednesday morning, got in, Ubered to Drew's house, dropped my stuff. We got some tacos. Then we had to head up to the crypto arena, and I shadowed Vic for that game. And Drew got to hang out and watch the game as well with me, which was awesome. We came back. I had like 2 days to prep for the game, and all the while wanting to like hang out with Drew. I did go to his gig Wednesday night after the, or I'm sorry,
Thursday.
I did go to Thursday night. I went to the gig with you. I didn't go to the gig Friday night, and I missed that one. And it was a good party, as you could see in the vlog. And then Saturday was the day I had to work. And basically just worked on music those 2 days because I wasn't sure what the flow of the game was going to be like. And I didn't want to prep and then get out there, get to the game, and then be like, well, everything I just didn't work. So I prepped mostly at Drew's house, and my call time was at 12:30 for that Saturday. The puck drop was at 5:08 p.m. And I was there until like 9-ish, I think. And then I got out to Drew's gig and hung out. And then I flew back home Sunday afternoon and got back Monday morning, Cincy time. So it's kind of a whirlwind.
So was a full week, even though you were prepping most of the time. But you know, the thing I really want to nail home is you said this in your vlog and just earlier is you never know who's listening. It's so wild, you know.
Yeah.
You just never know who's paying attention. You know, I've done gigs where it's like 10 people and you know end up getting one of the biggest gigs ever. So you never know who's paying attention. It's always got to be trying your hardest.
Yeah, I think it's really important to remember that, you know, that anybody can at any time hear you, especially with putting out mixes and me working for Fit Radio. Um, there are guys on Fit Radio that have more plays than I do. Um, I don't a lot of times put out as many mixes for the app as I would like, or just because of time constraint with all the other 18 jobs that I have. Um, but I do get a lot of listens per mix. I have almost 40 million streams on there. I had more, but we removed a lot of the older mixes. So those like don't count as streams anymore. I had more at one time, but like I said, we cleaned up a lot of the older mixes from the early days of the app. I think some of the stuff was just like low bit rate. When they first, launched the app, things were in like 128, and now everything's super high quality, so everything's in 320. But it's crazy to
Well,
me to hear. The other thing I think is important is people say all the time at these conventions, especially guys doing big things, and I think that's something too important, that your market does not control you. Here's me, a guy from Cincinnati, Ohio, going to, in my opinion, like a mecca of entertainment and DJs and just events of LA. And they booked me, a guy from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Okay, I'll disagree with you just a little bit on that. I totally do agree with you on that, but at least not disagreeing, but the part I'll add to it is being the biggest guy in your city, right? And having a lot of the big gigs and a lot of the notoriety in your city does give you some flexing power for being able to travel and do some of these other gigs everywhere else. But yes, your city does not control where you're at,
Right. And
where you
I
go.
think too is just like you control the power of you. The harder you work, the more you do, the more you're going to get. And I think that this is living proof of that. And I feel like for me, I always, and Drew can attest, I am always working. I mean, there's rarely a time where I'm relaxing. And in fact, sometimes I wish I was able to relax a little more, but the more you put in, the more you get out. And I think it's just important for new DJs, even DJs in the middle of their career, to remember that.
Well, the world's just getting smaller and smaller with the flights being so easy and the internet. All I was just reiterating is, don't just go from, hey, I'm a bedroom DJ to now I want to be an international traveler.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm saying, yo, be the man in your city and the rest will come a lot easier.
Yes,
follow.
that's totally important. If you're a bedroom DJ, it doesn't happen overnight too. But
right,
if you're putting your head down and things are going to come to you, it's kind of like a snowball effect. The more you're doing, the more that snowballs and getting bigger and bigger. But it was a lot of fun. Drew got to come to the game. They got him parking tickets for both games, actually.
I'm a big Kings fan, actually. I love hockey, and this year I've been wanting to get more into sports, and so it's funny that the way this all worked out is I was telling myself, hey, I'm going to start going to games, and then all of a sudden you got this, so it was pretty ironic in itself. But yeah, I love the Kings. I love hockey. It's a fun sport. Yeah, and there's a nice big fight. I almost got it on film, but I didn't get my camera out fast enough. The seats that I had for the second game were awesome. They were like right up towards the front. But yeah, there was a big fight. They were playing Minnesota, and it was just such a good game. So much energy. They're really good. Did you say they're top of the league right now?
One of the better teams. Yeah, they were like 15-4 or something like that coming into this game. Also, I got to DJ for Diplo. Diplo was at the game, so no big deal. Have you got to DJ for Diplo? And yeah, I'm not talking to you, Drew. I'm talking to everybody listening to this podcast.
It was, and the game was sold out. I mean, there wasn't seats anywhere. My seats were actually next to the boss and his wife. So, I used some of their free tickets. So, it was an awesome game. It was such a cool experience. Got some footage of you and just walking around crypto and seeing all that. It was awesome.
They were so kind to me, and Vic one was awesome too, with helping me, understand that everything that I needed to kind of know going into the game. I can't, express how grateful I am for that, because a lot of times DJs can be like, "What are you doing here? Why are you in my turf? What? Fuck you. I'm not helping you. You're gonna steal my gig." And that was not the case at all. And I can't express how much I appreciate that, because when I'm in those kinds of situations or been opening for DJs and clubs or whatever, I always try to set the DJ up for success, because I just am within the mindset of the more you give, the more you get. And I just think that's important to have a giving mindset / abundant mindset, that the world is abundant and there are plenty of opportunities for everybody.
Vic One has some really amazing, funny interviews from back in the days on YouTube. So go check those out. Follow him, and hoping that we're gonna have him on the podcast here shortly. He's a very funny dude with very talented, and is doing a lot for LA sports, Galaxy, Kings, and the Chargers. So looking forward to having him on soon.
Right. So overall, that was a good time. One of the things we want to talk about today, too, while we are going to keep this episode short, we're going to talk about Direct Music Service. Direct Music Service is our sponsor. If you use promo code Drew and Fuse Show, it'll get you 30% off your first month. Also, if you do some searching on maybe the Instagram or the blog, there are some promo codes that are still active for our holiday sale. You might be able to save yourself a little bit more money there. If you're not on Direct Music Service, you should totally sign up. I totally believe in the record pool. They also, are our sponsor for this podcast. It's our home for this podcast. With that being said, we're going to get into some picks for this week. We're doing our top 5 picks. Drew, do you want to kick it off with one?
This is one that, I'm going to throw it to my child. She keeps putting this song on, Black Eyed Peas, Meet Me Halfway. And I've mentioned this 100 times. Black Eyed Peas are, reliving it again. They're just back at the top. Everything, all like B-side Black Eyed Peas is killing it everywhere. So she keeps putting on Meet Me Halfway, and I reached out to Fuse, and I was like, we need to do a DAFS bootleg of Meet Me Halfway. So this is Black Eyed Peas versus Breathe Carolina, the DAFS finally bootleg of Meet Me Halfway. So grab that. It's been killing every night.
Yeah, it's banger. I got to watch Drew play it live Saturday after the Kings game at his residency bungalow, and it crushed. So I definitely co-signed that one. It does help that we made it too. My first pick would be another DAFS bootleg. It's on Direct Music Service. The one Drew just mentioned was on Direct Music Service. Lana Del Rey versus Belinda Carlisle, Summertime Sadness, the DAFS 1980s bootleg. I took the instrumental of Belinda Carlisle and put the acapella of Summertime Sadness over it, and it actually kind of makes the song less sad. So it's just kind of a fun way to play that song. I get requests all the time for Lana Del Rey, and a lot of times I feel like it just kind of flops in my set. I did 2 versions of this. I did this kind of 19 throwback one, and then I did more of a techie one that's also on Direct Music Service. So kind of for different situations. I really like the way both of those turned out. So you can go download those now on Direct Music Service. Drew, your next pick.
I'm always being called out for not quoting enough hip hop on these lists, but I just don't play hip hop rooms. And so here's a hip hop one. Tyga came out with a new track called Slave. They used the Britney Spears beat, slowed it down a little bit, made it more hip hop. The one I'm saying, shouting out is Victor Menego over at Barbangers did kind of a hype that comes in with it. And it's like just kind of the Britney Spears hype. It's not the full chorus, but it's a great way to work into from maybe a pop record into like this hip hop. So I really like that. But you can also play the original. But it's a great record. The beat's instantly recognizable, whether they know it or not. So you can start playing it right away. It's a great one.
Not every edit I play is a Victor Menego edit, but every Victor Menego edit I play is the perfect edit. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, facts.
All right. My next pick is a DAFS edit, and maybe that runs true the same with us. I don't know. I make them. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased, but one of the top trending songs on TikTok has been the Yeah Yeah Yeahs Maps, and I really haven't had a version I've liked to play. So I made a little quick bootleg, and I don't think I've really ever played this song out much, but anyway, it's the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, and I took the Tommy Sunshine and Modern Machines remix, and then kind of flipped it with a Diplo remix of Stay High. So it's the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, Maps, DAFS, the Stay High bootleg. It's on DMS. I really, really like the way this one turned out. I've been playing it since I've made it, and I've gotten good reaction with it.
Yeah, I played it Saturday. I played it fast, but it definitely hit. Both the maps part and the drop was awesome. So my third one's another hip hop track, staying in there. This is a Dollar Cub blend from DMS. He did Cali Swag District versus Saweetie, or I guess Blow the Whistle, whatever one you want. It's Teach Me How to Dougie versus Tap In, and it's a good way to just Teach Me How to Dougie a lot faster, more into the hundreds and less out of the 85s. So yeah, I like it.
That's a good one. My next pick is Duran Evil Woman, the Bruno Martini remix. I've really been trying to perfect this, like playing older songs within my set that still sound current, and this is one of those that I like. Evil Woman is a cool song, and I really like the way this remix sounds. It doesn't ruin the song, and it keeps it current sounding. When I play here locally, like at the casino, I have that mix uploaded on my Mixcloud. You can kind of tell that I'm playing older songs, but doing it in a way that's a little more current. This is one of those that I like for that. It's not in that mix because it just came out, but you can download that one on Direct Music Service.
That's interesting. That's the Duran version because that's ELO,
right?
Yeah. So I didn't know that they had redone that.
I'm pretty sure it is them, unless somehow it got titled wrong. But yes.
My next pick is The Weeknd, Sao Paulo. It's the 5 hours Latin house remix. The original was just a tad slow. I've been getting a ton of requests for this, and I just like this remix a lot. So I've been throwing that one in.
It's a good one for sure.
There you go. Yep.
And
I'll give a little shout out to the Timeless this weekend. Weekend Timeless. I must have got 8 billion fucking requests for that song. So there you go.
There you go. My next pick is Mustard. It's Kendrick Lamar featuring Lefty Gunplay, TV Off. Grant posted an edit on DMS, clean and dirty, that just goes straight in from the intro to the Mustard part. So if you wanted a mixable version that goes right into the killer part of the song, I like that. So I just wanted to shout that one out. Big song already. I feel like I played it at the Kings game warm up part. I think it's massive, especially with Kendrick doing the Super Bowl. All that stuff is massive right now.
I meant to say on that weekend, Timeless, it was the Pete Down did a double time version of it to make it a little bit faster. So shout out Pete Down, grab that one on DMS. My next pick is actually DJ Grant as well. This is T-Pain versus Bruno Mars, the Bartender, 24 Karat Magic. with 24 Karat Magic getting put on so many wedding do not playlists, I don't know if this is going to be okay for that or not, but I've been looking for a faster version of just like more upbeat dance version of Bartender, and I played this one all weekend and it killed every night. So this one is not on DMS, however. DJ Grant did this one, and because of that terrible something that shall not be named, you need to go on Instagram and DM DJ Grant and tell him that you heard it here and have him send that over to you.
Yeah, it's a good one. It makes it a little more funky. And I actually personally think that, while maybe 24K Magic is somewhat, I actually don't think it sounds that way at all. I think Grant nailed it with this one. It just gives Bartender a little funkier up-tempo vibe, and I think it's really good.
Amen.
My next pick is a Christmas song. I just had to do a Christmas mix for Fit Radio, and it can be challenging sometimes to do these Christmas mixes, or if you're doing a radio show, to find Christmas songs that aren't kind of cheesy and fit the flow of like a mix that necessarily isn't all about being a Christmas mix. Like it just needs to, for me, this mix was like, we want Christmas music, but we don't want it to be like super cheesy Christmassy. So I'm just saying at DMS, we have a lot of Christmas edits on the site from years past too. If you search Christmas on there, a ton of stuff will come up. This one that I like is the Crystal Rock, Marc Kiss and Pule Last Christmas. I really like it. It's really current sounding. It fit well with the other housey stuff that I was playing around it. I just wanted to shout out that and let you guys know that there are Christmas options on the site, even if you don't see them, on the feed currently.
Yeah, especially for all the holiday parties. I know I have a couple of holiday parties and they're all requesting Christmas music for cocktail, but you can make it cool. It doesn't have to be. I personally hate Christmas music, so you're talking to the wrong guy, but it really doesn't need to be the 1920s Christmas songs that everyone's already hearing at the department stores,
Right.
You can make it a little bit more unique.
Right. And I just think that, you can do it in a way that's cohesive to your sound or whatever you're playing. And, I'm not saying don't even work in some of the classics or whatever. I don't need to hear a B more remix of Brenda Lee in my set right now. You know what I mean? Rocking around the Christmas tree. I don't need it. Get it out of here.
How dare you?
I got one more bonus pick for everybody. And before we wrap up the show, my bonus pick is Audio One put up this edit of somebody I love, which is Jet Boot Jack. He does a lot of the current remixes of classics, and this one was Barry White, Can't Get Enough of Your Love. And I really like that. It fits within that set that I'm trying to master, and it's a throwback that just has a little more current vibe and pop to it. So that's my bonus pick for this episode. That's all I got. You got anything else you want to add?
That's all I got. I know New Year's Eve is right around the corner. 2025 is here. I can't believe it's been 5 years since 2020. It's blowing my mind right now at the moment. But next year is a new one, and I think you should really get out there and go rub some elbows, and we have a lot of fun things going on. So come and meet us at one of them, whether it's in Vegas, it's here at NAM in Anaheim, or at Midwest Live. I think all of them are going to be awesome shows. So pick one. We might do a bonus of Atlantic City. That's to be seen, but definitely pick one and come visit and rub some elbows with the punks.
Yeah. People, there's opportunity to be had everywhere, and networking is very important. And, the shows are fun, especially the two that we're going to. The DMS party in Vegas is always a good time. It's Vegas. There's not really much that needs to be said other than DMS party, Vegas. You get to meet a lot of the editors. A lot of other DMS editors are going to be there. it's your chance to just network and, not break the bank. Honestly, that it's really cheap to fly to Vegas and stay in Vegas, especially in February. I just want to say once again, thanks to Drew, because Drew really came in clutch, being able to come to the hockey game and get footage and all of that. And it's important to try to document anytime you do a big gig, even if you gotta bring out a friend that's your assistant for the day. I think it's important to
Yep.
to try to get as much footage from anything that you do and you document it. That's all I got. I think that's it for this episode.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Till next time, we'll see you guys. Peace.
Peace.